he did everything he possibly could for me and my brothers. And my mum died to provide for what we needed, as within reason. Didn't get a new pair of boots every year, but it was certainly taught you how to look after your footwear. You're picking a team that everybody else would love to do, and only my team really that gets picked gets tested. So if you win a game, you've picked the right team, and it's great. If you lose a game, why did you pick him? Why didn't you take him off? Why didn't you replace it with him? You're the worst manager ever. That wasn't here. The orange. It's almost like the Titanic building, isn't it?
It's similar. Last time you were here, you opened the sports hall.
I did. Myself and Manish, who was another former pupil, opened the sports hall, and I think that's 2009, something like that.
So it's all your science.
That was geography up there. I think geography and history.
That's IT upstairs now in the library.
And that was science. That was science. All science.
Yes, that's still science. And over there, science.
Maths lessons here, so I'm shivering as I go past there for the maths lessons. But no, on one of these boards, which are still here, the team would go up on a Friday. Am I in the first team? Am I in the second team? That on Friday you'd go and have a look, and then Mr. Gofton would have a team meeting before we left on the Friday afternoon. So it'd be.
And was it a scramble to that board? Did you have to? Were you
pretty much.
To find out?
Pretty much.
Were you nailed on? Were you guaranteed to be in the team?
Or one of your mates had already seen the team anyway, and told you, oh, you're in the first team, or you're not. So it was one of those who could get there first. Yeah.
Got pictures on here.
Hey.
All right.
Of you when you opened
Yes.
the portal.
Wow. Yeah, it's strange, really strange. Not a great deal has changed, especially for like the sports hall area and whatever, and certain corridors. My old high school's now been sort of erased, and sort of, the academy has been pulled together of three schools, but this part of the college is still as is. And nice memories, good memories. I enjoyed school.
I remember mine. I'm sure Dave on camera remembers his, if he actually achieved this. But do you remember your first goal for your school and what it felt like?
First kiss.
Maybe we should cut that. Maybe we should cut that. Let's cut that. Do you remember?
I don't remember first kiss. So
Yeah.
just thinking back, I wasn't the best player in the school, let alone in the district or the area. Another lad who went to Leicester and was on the ground staff there with me as an apprentice. We both went from this school, which was kind of unusual. Our school team was a good one. We got to the national schools final, and we ended up drawing 2-2 against a team from London. And I don't know what happens now, but it was shared, unfortunately. So you couldn't say you were the best school in England, but that was at under 16 level, and that was great to look back at that. And a history teacher called Mr. Gofton was mad. He taught my brothers as well. I've got 4 older brothers. I used to think back to what they did, and how much they used to help the kids with sport, and say there was certainly in this college it was a big influence on sports and what it meant alongside your academic work as well. So I pick out one teacher, but there was a good few. Little did I realise that you're organising your school five-a-side team would start maybe where the road to coaching and management. O-levels, CSEs, and then it was the first year of GCSEs. We were the crossover. I ended up with 1 GCSE in French, so mais oui, bonnet de douche. It was I've obviously kept that going. But I certainly wouldn't mess around in school too much. My dad was a big influence, and I knew what he would say or think if I was in trouble at school, and he probably would have taken away my sport. And I don't blame him. It was a passion of mine. It was something that I couldn't do without. So that was probably some form of punishment if I did step out of line. There are certain values definitely that stick with you, and you know, whether it's punctuality, whether it's you know, how to treat people, how to deal with certain situations. I suppose you know, it gives you great values. It gives you you know, going forward into life, you had to make sure that they were right. Otherwise, you wouldn't get on in life, and that's certainly, you know, something that I try and say to my kids, or to the lads coming through the academy now in Northern Ireland. It's important to continue with your studies. Make sure your studies are working alongside your football, because you don't know when it might end, and not everybody gets the chances that I did at the time, and certainly people who I went to school with and, you know, ended up going into football with. You know, we've all had different longevity of careers, so you know, you need those skills, you need those life skills.
Yeah, we're back on your old street. You know, growing up as a kid, you obviously kicked the ball around here. What are your memories of this place?
Well, the garden goes back a little bit, and I think the neighbour is still the same lady. She'd be an old lady now, I think, but she'd remember me and my brothers kicking a ball around the garden, and the odd window being broken, unfortunately, and certainly constantly having to fetch the ball and throw it back over. Just great memories. He did everything he possibly could for me and my brothers, and my mum died to provide for, you know, what we needed, as you know, within reason. Didn't get a new pair of boots every year, but it was you know, certainly taught you how to look after your footwear, and that continues to this day, and just the values of what he brought to us is magical, really, and what he went through. 2 jobs, you know, throughout the day. You know, he was a pattern maker working with wood, metal, and at night time he'd go and help his brother out, collecting debt essentially from, you know, people who borrowed money, and you know, probably would get in at 9-10 o'clock in the evening, grab something to eat, go to bed, wake up early to go to work again. So you know, full respect to him and what he's done. Yeah, they've always enjoyed coming to watch when I was playing. And they've certainly followed things as a coach and manager. They came to Sligo when the day that we won the league, and that was very special for my dad to be there and my brothers to be there. And you know, we've tried to enjoy it together. My dad's not been to the National Stadium yet, and I can't wait for him to come across for one of those games. But you know, the last couple of years haven't been easy, have they, for travel? So you know, it's try and get his knee replaced, and he can move around a bit more freely as well, having just had his hip done, so he'll be the bionic man by the time he comes over. So yeah, I mean, I live in Cheshire now, but with my partner, and but I'm you know, I see the girls, my daughters, very regularly. Obviously my dad's living with my auntie now down the bottom of the road. So it's strange, you know, that they're both widowed, and they both just enjoy each other's company, and that's nice. And so I see my dad every week, and it doesn't matter where I am, there's always the end of a phone, and we're in constant contact. It starts at home, doesn't it? It starts how you're brought up, and it doesn't matter whether you've been privileged in life, whether you've not, whether you've really had to fight hard for things, and I don't think we were a family that had everything at all. You know, as I said, my dad had to work 2 jobs, and so what we have earned, we certainly value and look after, and you know, and try and share. It's great when somebody achieves something, I think, and you know, we can all look back. I think everybody plays a part in it. It's not just the person involved. There's many influences, many people around you, parents, siblings, brothers, sisters, grandparents, whatever it might be. They all play a part in shaping who you are, and I value that. 7 of us from school we were all together, and we meet up from time to time, but we definitely meet up in March to go to Cheltenham. That's something that we do, and we have a fun thing to raise the money for that Cheltenham trip throughout the year. So we're constantly in touch on WhatsApp or by phone. Fortunately we've stayed strong as a unit, and I think grounded that we might all be in different places, but we still keep together. Unfortunately, we lost one of our best friends a couple of years ago to illness, and it used to be 8 of us, but no, his memory's still strong, and so we all still hang around. I think life deals you the hand at any time, and you have to be able to deal with it. However experienced, inexperienced, young or old you are, and we all have to deal with that at a certain stage. Unfortunately, I lost my mum when living in this house, so the thought of my eldest brother picking me up from school, primary school, which is just down the road there, taking me to the house, and my dad sitting me down, I remember it vividly, and it's it's not easy to process them sort of things, and eventually you do get over it, and for anybody to lose a parent at that age, it's tough, and I think back now, and I look at how proud my mum would be at what I've achieved so far, and hopefully what I achieve in the future, and I think for anybody to make somebody proud is probably one of the biggest things you can give to someone. So it doesn't cost anything. You don't have to buy it to give them. To give someone pride is just a great gift. And hopefully she's up there and she's looking now. She loved football, I know that, and then hopefully you can help shape the lives of others as well. Who perhaps have losses throughout their lives, and I've certainly in charge of the 21s and some of the senior lads that have lost close friends or family, and how to be compassionate with that, how to deal with that. It shapes you as a person. It helps you to cope with others as well, and it's not easy, and you have to have that grieving period, but then you come out of that hopefully, and you move on to do things to help others. You have to grow thick skin. It's part and parcel of everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's got thoughts on how games would go. Everyone's an expert. They'll always critique what you do, and it's one of those things where you've got to be strong. You know yourself whether you've done well, whether you've excelled and gone and made people happy, or they're going to be disappointed, and that's a fact of football and how you deal with things. You've certainly got to have that resilience. Scully, what are you doing?
Good afternoon, sir.
Listen.
Just out for an afternoon walk with the dog.
So we're just in the middle of an interview. Just in the middle of an interview in the car, next to the old.
For the 21's job.
Next to the King Power and the old Filbert Street, which you'd probably remember rather than the King Power. So you've just interrupted right in the middle of it. Timing as usual.
Yeah. Just you got the interesting stuff.
Well, just on about how the 21s are performing at the moment, and
do you need an update? Absolutely fantastic. The mentality of the group is unbelievable. Yeah, the coaching excelling. So,
why are you leaving that up to your coaches?
Yeah, it's all about delegation. You know that. Yeah. No problem. Just give us a ring when you get time later. All right, mate.
Okay, mate. All right. Catch you later.
All the best for the interview. I hope you don't get anybody for this my job. Yeah.
Catch you later. Ta-da.
Ta-da.
Bye.
Ta-da.
Bye. Comedy timing that. For that 10 days, you're in the limelight. Northern Irish people want the football team to do well, and really, say everyone's got an opinion on things, so you're going to pick somebody who someone's not going to agree with fully, and you've just got to live with that. It's a fact that you're picking a team that everybody else would love to do, and only my team really that gets picked gets tested. So if you win a game, you've picked the right team, and it's great. If you lose a game, why did you pick him? Why didn't you take him off? Why didn't you replace it with him? You're the worst manager ever, and that's that comes with the territory.
We're here in the Northern Ireland dressing room. Give us a sense about what this place means to you. Now that you've been in the job almost 2 years now.
Yeah, well, it's where it all happens. It's the workplace. It's what you've been building up for a few days, certainly leading into a game. A lot of the information that you've given to players is already hopefully set in their minds. We'll come in here and we'll have a meeting probably an hour before kick-off, just as they go out before the warm-up. You see the room, the office there, which for me and the coaches will have had their team in. It comes in, we put it into a relevant, team shape that we think that they've going to go and play. But mainly, this is for the players just to have their own time, get ready in their own time. They know that there's set times that we do things, so be ready for that meeting, for instance. Everything's ready for when they come back in from the warm-up. And again, there's not a great deal that you can impact on, once the lads are in here, once they're all ready. And we try and keep it to a minimum. You've done a lot of talking, a lot of prep throughout the week anyway. So it's a case of just fine-tuning things, and you might have a little whisper in the ear of somebody. You might just have a little chat with the midfielders, for instance, or the back line, or the group that are going to go and defend at set pieces, and so it's just getting those last little bits of information. Hopefully that's an environment where the young players can come in and know that they can be part of the group. They're not going to be sitting in that corner thinking, I'm not going to say a word, I don't feel as though I can speak. And we're all open and very, very much about helping each other to try and get the result. And that's how I like the teams to work, and hopefully everyone feels that, from the youngest player down to the most experienced one. I wasn't with the under-21s, and the seniors were getting together, for instance, of a summer training camp when there was the games, I think, away in Belarus and Estonia, I think it was, and there was a training camp for those players that had finished the season, but and needed to keep momentum going, and being around the group then probably helped me, because they knew me anyway. They knew that they'd heard my voice on the coaching pitch. It was a big test, because that players are looking at you now. How's he going to react? How are we going to do things differently? We've come off the back of an unsuccessful World Cup campaign, albeit we came third. We were expected to come third, but performed really well in certain games, and had low periods in games we were probably expected to win. And I'm being tested and looked at all the time in how I react to certain things, and will continue to be. But that's only something that we do as a self-reflection as coaches and managers anyway. I think you've got to have a sense of realism. Where do you sit within the grand scheme of things in life? And we're as footballers and people working in the football industry, we've been very lucky to be able to continue doing what we've been doing in the main. Albeit under certain restrictions, and it's only been right that we have had those restrictions. Yes, we can say that it's been a totally different outlook. Since I've taken over, it's been under COVID rules. So players' freedom to go and walk around Belfast or have friends and family to the hotel has been taken away from them. But we have to understand that unfortunately a lot of lives have been lost through it, and to do what we're doing is a privilege, and also it gives people a lot of pleasure and a lot of sense of well-being when they can watch football being played and coming into the stadium, whether it be in the stadium or watch on TV, and it gives them a release from what has been maybe difficult periods in their lives. Well, certainly as an international manager you get plenty of time to reflect on what you've done well, what you can improve upon, what you can continue doing well, and how we can get better. And this period between November and now leading up to these 2 games in March has given me food for thought into where we go for the next period. You know, young players are starting to show that they are capable of being in a squad and dealing with the pressures of walking out here on a bouncing evening game representing the country at the top level, and that's something that we should all be excited about.
We really need our fans behind us as well going into this year.
Without a doubt, they play a massive part in what we do. If we go and achieve something during the Nations League and then following on to the Euros, it'll be in a big part to how they've been towards the team and towards the opposition, and how much of a cauldron they make this we'd like to think is a fortress. You look back at the games against Italy, and still I look back at the footage, and it gives me goosebumps, knowing that the players played to a level that you know, without the players, if it was an empty stadium, I'm not sure the players would have got to that level. And that sounds strange, because you think, no, any footballer should be able to go and play at a top level. But I think it works in tandem with the backing of the fans that we know that we can get. We know that we can achieve anything, and hopefully we can take that into Nations League and the following year, 2023, into the next Euros.